Hey, Tony Gaston here, popping in for another episode of Talks with Tony. Going through the letters now. This email piling up now, so I got to pick it up. I got to pick it up. Let me see here. So we gotta. This one is titled "Widows Need Help Too." All right now. Okay, look a little long. Thank you for all the wonderful videos and podcasts that you have made and are still making. They have been so helpful to me, and I am now 65. 65. Now, I heard from an 18-year-old or 20-year-old, and now 65. That's a wide range now of insight y'all got me sharing. That's a wide range. I wish I had seen them about a year and a half ago. I think they would have made me think twice about a relationship I got into at that time. I have been widowed for the last 14 years, and I have not dated anyone by choice during those years. I had a wonderful relationship with my husband, who was a mature man. He was one in a million, everything most women would look for in a man. I was 35 when I got married, and my husband was 44. I know that he was older than you would recommend, but it worked out wonderfully. No, he actually was in the range. My range is 10 years or less. So he was 9 years older. So y'all made the cut. He died quite young in his sleep. The man I met actually moved in right next door. He texted me casually for about 12 or 13 months, and then a few months later, he started to let me know how he felt about me. 12 or 13 months. How he felt about me, and he poured on a lot of quite amorous texts. He was definitely doing the chasing slash hunting, as I was not interested at all since being widowed so long. He was a friendly neighbor. His job took him away from town as he worked for an airline. He had two other careers, pastor and law enforcement, prior to this, which made me feel that he was a decent, upstanding individual. Texting was the easiest way to communicate, and then it became the go-to way of communication when he was in town and also when he retired a few months later. Hours and hours of texting. I received thousands of them. He seemed to be a mature man, said he knew what he wanted, or so he said. Like all of us, he made mistakes in the past, was divorced twice, had an affair in the second marriage during a difficult period. Maybe I was naive, but I did not see any red flags. Or maybe I let him sweep me off my feet as I had not had anyone in my life for all the time. Although I thought the amorous romantic texts were a little over the top at times. She put a crying laughing face. When we were texting each other, when we were over the top of time, when we were texting each other, he was 69, 71 this year, when he started to date in June 2020. And everything seemed to be going very well until I started to notice a pulling back or distance about 4 months or so into our relationship. One thing I have to mention is I didn't want to be in the driver's seat all the time with regard to coming up for ideas to go out on a date rather than popping over to each other's place for coffee, or if I was cooking lunch, dinner, or gathering with my friends who I had started to introduce him to. Towards the end of October, I found out that he was starting to see a woman he used to work with and had been interested in. But all but at the time, she was in a relationship that was on again and off again. He told me about her during the times we were exchanging conversations about our past. He said that he wasn't interested in someone who was in an on and off relationship, and he didn't think that she would leave her boyfriend. Well, in early October, she phoned him to let him know that she had broken up with her boyfriend. He went to visit her and check out to see if the grass was greener, and didn't come back till later on the next day. I never had to deal with infidelity before in my marriage, and I wasn't planning on putting up with it from him. I confronted him with this the next day and told him face to face that it was over. I was very hurt and disappointed in him, but also in myself for being so naive, falling for this romantic drivel. I don't know what that is. So I don't know if it's a typo or actual word, but that sound good right there now. The hard part is he is living right beside me. 11 days after I told him it was over, he let me know that his friend was coming in to visit and if I had any comments that he would like to hear them. What kind of man does this? God bless you for a cash out. Somebody sent me a cash out. What kind of man does this? I lost my spot. I don't blame her at all for any of this. I don't think he let her know that he was dating someone. He told me that he told her he was talking with someone. He said we were dating. That was enough to tell me that he was not being honest with her or me. My question is, I know you always advise people to cut all ties, and I did all that you suggest, but I live right next door. I also tried to reach out to him to ask him why he pursued me when obviously he was waiting for this woman to become free. But I never got any reply from him. I had tried to text message him, left him a voicemail, and when that didn't work, I sent him a long email. No reply to anything I tried. I just wanted to find out where the man behind all those texts went. It felt like I was dealing with Mr. Jekyll who turned into Mr. Hyde. The 180-degree turnaround for me was mind-boggling. I guess I was a placeholder and maybe a notch on his belt. I am Irish and he is African American. He's the first African American man I have ever dated, and he said that I was the first white woman that he had ever dated. My husband was white, but I have dated men in my past who were from different races. During the time that I had gotten to know him, I thought he was a genuine, caring, honest man. I don't know what I missed or if my head was just in la la land. I guess I haven't dated anyone since the late 80s and am just out of practice. I know this email is still a bit long, but if you do get time to read it over one of your Talks with Tony videos, I would love if you could let me know what you think of the mess I got into and the best way to handle living right next door. Thanks, Tony, for all the work you do in helping all of us women out here who are trying to navigate the world of men. On a sideline, I absolutely love your sense of humor, the way you couple it with some very serious, helpful advice for so many of us. God bless you, your sweetheart, Cherie, and your lovely boys. Hey, thank you so much for that. And not sure what you mean by a sense of humor and coupling it. I could see a little bit there. And your hair kind of look like a blondish gold. I really thought you was to me you looked like really, really, really light black women. I didn't know you was Irish. You might have some black in you now. You might have some black in you. What is beside you, a dog? Look like some dog ears. Well, sister, welcome to the black woman world. You got hit with the old okiedoke. It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna tell you that. It's gonna be all right. Like Kendrick said, listen, it's gonna be all right. This not that deep. Now y'all is up there. Y'all are up there. You 65. He about to be 71. Sister, you just bumped into you a bad apple. Cause for this man to be 71 and still out here like player from the Himalayas, this man running game on the text message at 70. Now this is a new level for me. Now see, this right here is a new level for me. I cannot believe this man's 70 years old and still got this going on. But that also say something now. This man was a pastor and he was a law enforcement. Now that kind of reminds me of my daddy, because my daddy was a pastor and a police officer. And could talk somebody's head off now. He'll talk your head off. You hear me? And this guy here, you say this man will text you for hours and hours and hours. But the thing, sis, is one, now you need to get on TonyGassonAcademy.com and take Real Love University. You'll see the course on there. It's called Real Love University. I think it's only $15. You need to spend all day in that right there. You need to just go through that. You got to learn love and relationships all over. Because you said I didn't see any red flags. For one, sister, a man who texted you casually for 12 or 13 months, that's a red flag. Then a few months later, he told you how he feel about you. Then he would text you for hours. He'll text you for hours. Then he told you he got to go out of town sometime because he worked for an airline. Now, hopefully you saw the airline outfit. If you didn't see the airline outfit, we don't know if he worked for an airline or if he was going to see his women from his online dating. And remember, this for everybody out there, never, ever, ever, ever do anything casually with a man more than 3 months. If a man is coming at you and it's not platonic and he kind of flirtatious or he whatever, never deal with a man more than 3 months. At the 3-month mark is when a man should say to you, would you be my girlfriend? That's what a man, if he don't say that by that 3-month mark, start packing your stuff on up, meaning you shouldn't be living with him, but I mean like start closing it up in your mind, giving yourself closure to go on about your life. Because listen, if you dating intentionally and you want to be with somebody, you want a husband, a man gonna know. A man gonna know his wife really quickly. It don't take a man that long. And I know we're in a new day, and sometimes I say 3 to 6 months, but that's really when I'm talking to somebody that's real young. But he old in Methuselah. And I don't know how old Methuselah is, but still. And I know for those y'all his age, this young. All right, y'all young, he old. Okay, I'm talking to him, he old. All right, the rest of y'all 70, 71 this year, y'all young. Okay. I know y'all get fire hot when somebody call y'all old, but y'all got to remember I call myself old at 37. It's just a figure of speech. This man right here, old in Methuselah. And he's sitting over there with that cricket flip phone, and he is texting you to death. He obviously ain't got no flip phone, no cricket, with the big buttons on there, because that's a lot of texting to be doing. I don't know if he was doing talk to text, but to be 70-year-old texting somebody to death, that in itself is a red flag. Because you got to realize this man's 70. So this man, that means this man ain't see a cell phone till he was 40. You see what I'm saying? Or something of the likes. I don't know. I remember my uncle used to come over to the house with a cell phone the size of a VCR. When was the cell phone invented? Now, I don't know what this talking about. Now, we talking about a real cell phone now. I ain't talking about 1876. They talking about the first practical. 1983. Something like that. I remember I was real young. I was born in 84. So 1 year before I was born. So that ain't that long ago. 93, 03, 13, 23, about 40 years ago. So around 30, but he couldn't afford one then when it first came out. So the man got him a cell phone about 40 years old. So he 71 this year. He what you call old school. A old school man is gonna be calling you on the phone. If a man over 50 love to text, if a man that's 50 and up love to text, that's a red flag. That is a red flag, okay? Y'all have got to recognize this here stuff. Come on now. That's a red flag. Now, y'all, listen. Y'all in the comments, y'all keep it polite. Y'all keep it respectful when I'm doing these videos. Y'all stop calling people dumb. Because every time y'all be calling somebody dumb and I don't know how she did this, I don't know how she did that, then y'all be doing the same thing. Be doing the same thing when you get the opportunity. And be doing worse when you get the opportunity. So listen, y'all listen. Ain't none of us on this channel got no room to be calling nobody no names. Now listen, this sister here, she's been widowed 14 years. 14 years. And God bless you. Now, so one of the red flags, the man texts you casually 12, 13 months. The next red flag, it take months after that for him to tell you how he felt. He ain't felt nothing. Then the next red flag, all he wanted to do was text. All he wanted to do was text. A man who's serious, a man who ready, he want to look you in your face. You live right next door. That man, a man who wants you, would have been in your face every day. Would have been in your face every day. At 70, I can't see that thing working too strong. So, nah, unless he got some great, amazing libido or pills or what have you. But they say a man's testosterone start to decline around 40. So at 70, you know, you ain't mentioned nothing about y'all getting too far in. But I don't know. But my goodness, I'm tired at 37. I can't imagine 70. So 70, all he should have been wanting to do is talk. All he should have been wanting to do is talk, but look you in your face. So that was a huge red flag. Now the other red flag that you miss, and this is what you got to learn, is you got to listen to context clues. You have to listen to context clues. You have to read between the lines. You can't just take it at face value. You can't just hear what you're hearing. You got to read between the lines. He told you, y'all was talking about y'all past. He said, yes, I was talking to this woman that I used to work with, but I don't want to talk to somebody that's in an on again, off again relationship, and I don't think she's going to leave her boyfriend. See, when you use inference right there on something like that, he telling you that the only reason that I'm not really on her like that is because she not leaving her boyfriend. He didn't say, I don't like her. He didn't say, her personality is horrible. She's not for me. We don't mesh. We don't click. He said, she got a boyfriend. That's really all he said. And so in using inference going forward, you're going to be able to read into this type of stuff and you're going to be able to say, oh, okay. He ain't say he done with her. He ain't say he completely over her. He ain't say she's not the one. He said he doesn't think she's going to leave her boyfriend. So what you realize is now you became the placeholder, like what you said. You became the fallback woman. His heart was kind of getting messed up, getting a little hurt from this other woman. This other woman did not want him. She had her little man, but she knew he was a decent guy. 2 divorces. 70 years old. That's a red flag. It's like, okay, now, partner, you had 2 chances to get this thing right. You done got that thing wrong. You was a pastor. That is a lifelong career. So what you start doing as a pastor, my boy, what you was stealing money, what you were embezzling funds, what you went to touching one of the congregants. So that, okay, law enforcement, that's a lifelong career, law enforcement. What you went to getting drug money, what you stole some drug money out the evidence room. You see what I mean? He had two careers that are lifetime careers that he no longer has. So you got to ask yourself, okay, what was going on with you there? Inference. You got to read between the lines. You can't just hear what you're hearing. You got to dig a little deeper. So you went from pastor. That's a role where you seeking some attention. You want you a platform. Pastors want to be in the limelight. They want a platform. They want some praise. They want their voice to be heard. They want to be great. They want to be a servant. But men being pastors, 9 out of 10 times, a pastor is a pastor for the wrong reason. 9 out of 10 times. So that's for all y'all that's dating pastors and all that. 9 out of 10 times, pastors become a pastor for the wrong reason, and typically pastors become pastors for money. That's why I wanted to be a pastor, because it looked like an easy job. Like, oh man, you mean to tell me I get to make hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars off of donations, just standing up there? And the Lord checked my heart and said, no, playboy. And the reason, and my wife, she pointed that out to me. She said, Tony, you notice almost every pastor you meet want to do what you do, travel the world, travel the country, speaking, and want to have the freedom that you have. And the reason being is because they became a pastor for the wrong reason. They didn't know what I do was an option. They became a pastor for the wrong reason. Then they figured this out. And I'm like, oh, okay. But then they got to keep that church. They got to keep that church because they done got started. They done did. It's like, you can't retire from that. Like, what you doing? 9 out of 10. Now, it's 10% of them out there. It's always going to be a remnant of those doing it right. And hopefully that's the kind of church you in. But doubt it. Of course, you think you in that kind of church. Well, I doubt it. And so this guy was a pastor. This guy was in law enforcement. Law enforcement, that's something people do 20 years, 30 years, typically around 20 years, 20 to 25 years and retire. Got them a nice little pension, got them a little monthly check coming in. And so, my boy, why you lost those two? Why you left those two? He could have left them, but why you left them? And now you working for an airline. So working for an airline sounds like he a stewardess, because you ain't got to go out of town for no airline unless you own the plane. Now, you ain't say he was no pilot now. I feel like that would have got established if he was a pilot. Well, unless he was a pilot, but, now he on the airline. Now he sound like the man from Catch Me If You Can. Working for the airline in different places. So, see, says he got a lot of red flags. He got a lot of red flags. You said, I didn't see any red flags. Then that's clearly just from not being in the game, just from being out the game so long, from having such a great experience with your husband, not going through infidelity with your husband, like just having a great experience. You had your white man. My husband was white, and now you got your African American man. Was you a placeholder? Yes. Was you a notch in the belt? Yes. Because see, listen, in the black race, it's black women that's your color. And, unfairly and unrightfully, where we come from, we call it high yellow. And that's a derogatory term. So we should not be calling anybody. But to this black man, you could have looked like what they call a high yellow black woman. But he know you was white. And one thing with black men is black men love to get them a white woman. Black men love to get them a white woman. Black men love to touch them a white woman. And the reason being is because of the history of slavery in America. A white woman to black men is a prize. It's a trophy. It's unfortunate. But that's the truth that a lot of people don't want to tell. A lot of black men that marry black women is black men who think they better than black people. It ain't, very rarely is it you bump into each other and it was just organic chemistry. It's typically the man choosing the woman, saying, I don't get along. He's saying, I don't get along with black women, or I think white women is better. Now, there are some organic, real love stories. There are some real love stories that are interracial, but it's typically from self-hate on most average. You see some exceptions to the rule. If you're exception to the rule, we're not talking to you, okay? If you part of the rule, a hit dog holler, and you're going to be running your mouth. If you're not part of this right here, what I'm talking about, then your situation is different. You ain't got to argue about nothing, okay? But if you're hollering, my grandma told me a hit dog holler. But see, I'm a man and I understand this. I understand the mindset, because it don't make logical sense. So it have to be some ulterior things going on in there. And so with this right here, you got to realize this is a 70-year-old man, 69 when you met him. This is a 70-year-old man. He living next door to a white woman, that is and that is why also it's a little different. This where the exception come in. That's why he texts you for 12, 13 months. Now, had you been a black woman, he'd try to have you on your bike in the first 30 days because he know you. He understand black women. He know black women. His ex-wives, that's would have been interesting detail whether his ex-wives was black or whether they was white. And so now, but regardless, he treated you with patience. So this here, before he started really telling you self how he feel, you was about 16 months in. So that he handled you with a white glove in his patience now. But then he still gave you his butt to kiss. So it just show you a man gonna be a man, your average everyday man. Which this man here is a hot mess though. This man here is a hot mess. Because for one, we should only be married once. So when you meet somebody, meaning if your partner didn't die, if you go through a divorce, one is enough. Okay, two, all right, we really pushing it. Three, what in the world? Unless you got divorced because they did you wrong. He told you he cheated on his second wife because in a tough time. Yeah, right. Tough time. My behind. He created the tough time. And he tell you what he did with the first wife now, probably the same thing. And then now you know this to be true because of how he done did you. Done led you along, led you astray, drug you along. Now you say if I make lunch, you say one thing I have to mention is I didn't want to be in the driver's seat all the time with regard to coming up for ideas to go out on a date rather than popping up over to each other's place for coffee, or if I was cooking lunch, dinner, or gathering with my friends who I had started to introduce him to. y'all a good old time over there, 65 years old, over there playing cards, having y'all a good old time. Gathering with your friend, cooking lunch. I just not sure. I don't think women my age cook lunch. Over there cooking lunch and having some coffee. Y'all meeting up in there for some coffee. Man, that just sounds like a good old time. That sounds like a good time to me. But like you say, you ain't want to be in the driver's seat. Now, with all that text messaging he doing, he creative. He could have been creative now with all that texting he doing. But listen, he didn't want to be creative because he out there juggling them some women. So this man here, he got some issues. This man got some issues. And it's coming. He just never went to therapy. This sounds like something from childhood. So listen, you got to take this as a lesson. And I'm going to tell you something. Do not close your heart. Don't close your heart. Do not be bitter. Do not be jaded. Do not start dogging men out or being rude and nasty. Keep being who you are. You just got to read better. You got to read the signs better. Never let a man keep you on text message. If you want to be intentional about something, only time you texting yourself to death with a man is when you don't want nothing. When you don't want nothing with him. If you want to be intentional about something, hey, call me when you get a chance. Point blank period. If he can't call, I can't call. What's wrong with texting? I can't text. Point blank period. Can't call, can't talk. Can't call, can't talk. Sorry. Can't call, can't talk. And when he call, he need to have an hour. You ain't got an hour. If he ain't got an hour a day, can't talk. Can't move forward. He ain't got an hour a day. You too busy. You too busy. Got too much going on. Sorry, you ain't relationship material. You ain't got an hour. God bless you. You ain't got the time. Got to go. You see what I'm saying? But keep your heart, keep your smile, keep your heart. And he live next door. It's like, okay, you 65. You 65. You old enough. You mature enough. Let him do his thing. Like now you know where he at. Now you know he a shyster. Now you know he like to play games. Now you know he not a real man. Especially at this age. This man here playing these kind of middle school games at 70 years old. Listen, me personally, if I was you, I would never speak to him again. If I was you, I would never text him back again. I would never have him go over there. And honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't even speak to him. And like in a real way, like stopping, hey, how you doing? If you going in your door and he jump out the car and he run on up there like he coming in his door, hey, I open that door and close that door. Just let him know you not welcome, you not wanted. I look back, if you see him, just like that right there. Just a little quick nod, nothing drastic, no stopping and talking. Hey, how are you doing? All of this, just a little nod. You ain't even got to smile. Normally, I would tell women, if you see a man like at work and y'all done broke up, just nod and smile. Nod and lip smile, not teeth smile, just lip smile. Just let them know like you ain't phasing me now. I ain't turning around walking the whole other way now. I ain't doing all that. I ain't moving jobs. I ain't changing departments. Like I see. Now if it's real intense, yeah, you got to move your change departments, change job. But y'all wasn't intense. They wasn't that deep. Y'all just was talking. It wasn't too serious. Yeah, he was doing all that. Now see, this is the thing, and this the one thing, and it's not a women problem. It's a human problem. We want some closure. So you text them or call them and then email them, no response. Okay, leave it there. Give yourself closure. Now you got to give yourself closure and just say, I was a placeholder. Next time I'll know to require more of a man, meaning phone calls, meaning hour-long phone calls, and I will take my time and I will not get my hopes up. And I will not sing his praises in my head. And I will not fantasize about him when we're not talking. This is what you got to say to yourself. So that you're not giving a man more credit than he has earned. The thing that women do is a man will talk to you 30 minutes. But you'll think about him for 20 hours. So now this man done got 20 hours worth of credit in your heart. You think about him the whole time you're working. If you're working, the whole time you're working out. You think about him so much that you're giving him a whole lot more credit than he has actually earned or that he deserves or that he worth. And so now, that's how you lose him. So, hey, keep your heart. My wife just texted me. I got to go see what she talking about. I know it probably ain't none because she ain't called me. But I'll do the next Talks with Tony in another video. And I may premiere these. So if this premiering, it may have another one coming right on up right after this one. To go from noon to 1 p.m. So sometimes if I got two of them, I'll split them up. Because for me, I get more videos up like that. But then too, it's an hour worth of content still in the day. So, hey, God bless you. I know I'm just talking off the top of my head. So I left some out. The Blessed Tribe give you a little. On these right here, the Blessed Tribe moderators, y'all can let people talk unless somebody's saying something crazy. You already know how we get down now. And y'all help each other out, but do it in love. Do it in love. Do it with a good spirit. Don't be calling people dumb. Don't be, belittling people, talking down to people. Talk to people the way you want somebody to talk to you if this was your story. You see what I mean? Because these people, they got this email address. That means they watch these videos. So you got to realize these people watching your comments and what you're saying about them, and they reading these comments and these humans, So don't take out your generational curses, belittling and talking down to people like that. And I know it's human nature. I've been guilty of it, but that's a part of our growth and us learning and understanding how to, help people in love, in tough love. Tell the truth, but in love. And this is a very unique situation. Like, lost her husband 14 years ago, 65 years old. A man lived right next to her. And the reason why I was saying too, not even really speaking to him is because he lived right next to you. It'd be different if y'all just bumped into each other at the grocery store. You could give a little more, how you doing? I'm doing great. Great to see you. All right. And you gonna keep going. But living this close and you don't know where his head at. You don't know where his head at, so you need to always make sure your door's locked. You need to always be looking behind you and all that. Like just kind of watching yourself. Just make sure he ain't crazy. And if you bump into him and one of his women that he got in there, hi. When it's a woman there, you could give a little more energy because it ain't just you and him. He can't talk to you. He can't say too much. Hey, how are you? And go on about your business like that right there, because then, and that's gonna throw him off now. He could be like, whoa, man, she was nice for no reason. What? He finna be sleeping like this. Because he wondering how you was so nice. And this woman finna come over here one night and then be come through that window like Liam Neeson. So he gonna start to wondering, but that's what you want. Just throw him off his rocker. And just let him wonder. And now you texting him and all that. He could use that for this woman crazy to get another woman to like him. Cause low key, women be liking men who other women want. Really, women don't want no man that don't nobody want. So he probably use your little stuff right there to show another woman, like, this woman really want me. She really after me. I tried to tell her that it was nothing. We were just friends. It was nothing more than friends, but she really wanted to be more. I know I'm a great guy. I know I'm a great catch, but it's like, I don't like to leave people on. So he didn't use that right there. So when he go to texting you and writing you back, leave him right there on red. Don't respond at all. And then you're going to bump into him. Hey, I text. Yeah, I'm sorry. Got to go. Anytime you see him, put your phone to your ear. Yes, hello. Yeah, Yeah, I know. These men is a mess. And go on about your business. Don't let them corner you. None of that. Don't let them corner you. And take care of yourself. Keep loving. Keep loving. I'm praying you meet somebody that's for you. God bless y'all. We'll talk soon. Lord willing, I have another video coming up right after this. We'll talk soon.